Welcome to our late game retirement sprint. If you've crossed into a higher salary bracket but feel behind on retirement, this episode is designed to compress years of strategy into a decisive plan. We will focus on maximizing pre-tax advantages, taming expenses, and making bold housing decisions to reduce your retirement target. As we move through, I'll connect each step so you can build a cohesive final decade roadmap. Let's start by previewing what we'll cover today and then progress into critical, high-impact moves. Here is the plan for this video. First, we will explain why pre-tax traditional contributions often outperform Roth at higher incomes. Next, we will translate the 25 times expenses rule into a concrete target and urgency metric. Then, we will examine housing decisions that can dramatically reduce your required nest egg. After that, we will outline how to fully exploit matches and catch-up contributions. We will also rewire your cash flow so that you live on your old income and capture the entire raise for savings. Finally, we will pull this into timelines and diagrams you can reference. Before we dive in, a quick but essential disclaimer. Everything you're about to see is educational, not individualized advice. Your personal situation, tax bracket, employer plan features, and location may lead to different optimal choices. Tax laws, contribution limits, and rules change over time, so confirm current details and consult a fiduciary advisor or CPA before implementing any strategy. With that foundation in place, let's move into why pre-tax savings are often the right lever for high earners starting late. At higher incomes, the current tax rate is typically elevated, making pre-tax contributions to a traditional 401k very attractive. The logic is straightforward. First, your deferral reduces taxable income now, which can immediately free up thousands of dollars in cash flow. Next, that cash can be redeployed to accelerate catch-up contributions, fund an HSA if eligible, and attack high fixed costs. Furthermore, in retirement, your taxable income frequently drops, especially if you have strategically lowered expenses. That means you likely pay a lower tax rate on withdrawals later than you would on contributions today. This is why the model suggests pausing Roth contributions during this high-income period, reserving Roth for low-income transitions, early retirement gaps, or conversion windows. Now that we've established the tax timing edge, let's translate your end goal using the 25 times expenses mandate. This table summarizes the key contrasts. Traditional 401k contributions are pre-tax and reduce current taxable income, which enhances present cash flow. Growth is tax-deferred, and withdrawals are taxed later. This setup works best when your current marginal rate is high and your retirement rate is expected to be lower. Roth 401k contributions are after-tax and do not reduce current taxes, but qualified withdrawals are generally tax-free. This makes Roth more compelling when your current tax rate is relatively low, or you anticipate a higher tax rate in retirement. Note that Roth 401k LS have required minimum distributions, while Roth IRAs do not, which can be managed through rollovers in retirement. With the tax framework clear, let's size the target using the 25 times expenses rule. A practical way to frame your end goal is the 25 times expenses rule. Estimate your retirement spending and multiply it by 25 to approximate the investment balance needed to support withdrawals. In high cost of living areas, this often lands well north of $1.5 million. Late starters frequently fall short of the benchmark of roughly 8 times salary by age 60. Which intensifies urgency. Therefore, an immediate corrective action is to maintain your old lifestyle and capture 100% of your salary increase for savings. Next, we will target the largest driver of expenses, housing, because shrinking fixed costs can lower your required nest egg more powerfully than chasing higher returns. This timeline maps a 10-year sprint. In year 1, shift to traditional 401k. Capture the full employer match, and automate directing 100% of the raise into savings. In year 2, maximize and invest in HSA if eligible, and begin a focused audit of housing costs. In year 3, decide between downsizing or accelerating mortgage payoff, ideally powered by bonuses. In year 4, refine insurance coverage and tax withholding, and complete a 6-month emergency fund. In year 5, watch for temporary income dips that may open a Roth conversion window. In year 6, reprice expenses and update the 25 times target to reflect any housing changes. In year 7, lean into catch-up contributions as age thresholds allow. In year 8, stress test your retirement budget with multiple scenarios. In year 9, execute a final debt reduction push. In year 10, assemble your retirement income map, including Social Security, pensions, and tax-efficient withdrawal sequencing. Now let's spotlight the housing lever itself. To address housing directly, begin by calculating your true all-in monthly cost, including mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA fees, and maintenance. Next, model the impact of downsizing or relocating that reduces fixed housing costs by 20 to 40%, and translate that reduction into a lower 25 times target. If you retain your current home, consider directing bonuses to principal prepayments to shorten the amortization and lower lifetime interest. Refinance only when the total cost and time horizon clearly improve on your current payoff path. Finally, reevaluate the rent or own decision by running a sensitivity test that shows how each option changes your required nest egg. With housing in motion, we can now maximize contributions and capture every available tax-advantaged dollar. Start with your traditional 401k and capture the employer match. Then continue to the full annual maximum. If you qualify by age, add catch-up contributions immediately, because these late-game dollars are critical. If you have access to an HSA, max it and invest the balance to function as a stealth retirement medical fund with triple tax advantages. Automate all contributions to occur as soon as pay is deposited, so that saving happens before spending. Finally, redirect bonuses to either extra mortgage principal or to a downsizing fund, whichever yields the largest reduction in your long-term fixed expenses. Before we go deeper, let's test your understanding with a quick question. Quiz time. The question is, at a $155,000 plus salary and expecting a lower tax rate in retirement, which retirement contribution type should generally be prioritized right now? The options are Roth 401k contributions to pay taxes up front, traditional 401k contributions to reduce current taxable income, only taxable brokerage to keep flexibility, or pause all retirement contributions until the mortgage is gone. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is traditional 401k contributions to reduce current taxable income. When your present tax rate is high and your retirement tax rate is expected to be lower, pre-tax deferral generally produces a superior after-tax result, while increasing current cash flow for accelerated saving. Now let's compare two major housing tactics to see which could fit your situation. Downsizing reduces expenses immediately, which directly lowers your 25 times required nest egg and may free home equity to redeploy into investments or a liquidity buffer. However, it can involve lifestyle trade-offs, new commuting patterns, or emotional costs. Conversely, aggressively paying down your mortgage preserves your current location and routines while saving interest. The fixed cost drops materially when the loan is retired, but this approach takes time and requires consistent discipline. Choosing between the two depends on how urgently you must cut expenses and your tolerance for lifestyle changes. With that in mind, let's rewire your cash flow so your raise becomes pure fuel for savings. To redirect your raise into savings, hold your spending steady at the prior income level. Then, set automatic increases to savings every time your salary or bonus rises, so the default flow is capture first and spend later. Use two checking accounts, one dedicated to bills and the other to variable spending, which limits leakage. Each week, sweep any surplus from the spending account into investments so idle cash is minimized. The operating playbook is straightforward. Prioritize tax-advantaged accounts, reduce fixed costs aggressively, and invest the difference. To visualize how each dollar gets allocated, let's map your income into buckets. This mind map starts with gross income at $155,000 or more. The first unavoidable branch is taxes. Next, retirement accounts take priority, including traditional 401k to the annual maximum with catch-up contributions if eligible, and the HSA at the maximum. Then the housing strategy branch splits into either a downsizing fund or extra principal payments, whichever reduces fixed costs most effectively. Safety includes a 6-month cash buffer and insurance optimization. Investing covers taxable brokerage contributions with low-cost index funds and a rebalancing policy. Finally, the benefits branch includes employer match and any pension or stock plans that need review. With the structure clear, let's consolidate the most important takeaways. Here are the core takeaways. First, high earners who are behind should generally favor pre-tax savings now and consider Roth during lower income windows. Second, lowering expenses, especially housing, has an outsized effect on shrinking the 25 times target. Third, follow a disciplined max-out sequence. Match, full 401k, catch-up if eligible, HSA, then mortgage reduction or downsizing fund, and finally, taxable investing. Fourth, automate contributions and constrain lifestyle creep by living on your previous income level. Finally, use timelines, checklists, and periodic reviews to maintain accountability and momentum. To wrap up, let's summarize your immediate next steps. In summary, prioritize traditional 401k contributions and seize the entire employer match. Automate saving 100% of your recent raise while holding your lifestyle constant. Within the next 12 to 18 months, run a thorough housing analysis to decide between downsizing and paying down the mortgage, and then execute decisively. Maximize the HSA and invest it while building a 6-month cash buffer. Redirect bonuses to slashing fixed costs, and conduct an annual review against your updated 25 times expenses target. As a final note, remember to check plan rules and consult professionals to tailor these steps to your situation. Thank you for watching. If this plan helped clarify your late-game retirement strategy, please like the video, share it with someone who needs an urgent push, and subscribe for more high-impact financial content. I would love to hear your strategy in the comments. Will you downsize or pay down? Tell us your next move and any questions you'd like covered in a future episode.